Let's explore those dark woods from your childhood that you dared not tread before in Cairn, the Night of the Maddening Star. Origins of both the module, Night of the Maddening Star, came from the grim fairy tales. The creation process of both games and estimated analysis for the Cairn rulebook can be broken down into phases: artwork, narrative, themes, and the in-between. Join me if you can brave the dark mystical woods of the Night of the Maddening Star. Grim fairy tales may be the inspiration for the Cairn rulebook world and game mechanics. What makes a grim fairy tale? Most have darker tone, with the villains often being brutally punished for their wrongdoings, and the heroes often have their own tragic conflicts. This tension is often maintained with magic and fairy interference, which are mysterious forces that change how the characters interact with the world. The heroes often succeed at their goal, but at a price. Capturing this mood starts with the artwork. The artwork for the original Grimm fairy tale drawings works very well for this mood. Often, their drawings use heavy ink and line work, with a slight sketchy look to make it seem more unsettling. Their work is closer to realism, with the framing of those images being more mysterious, such as the exaggerated shadow behind the woman in the sample drawing. I drew most of the images on sketch paper first to create the designs of each creature and test out different poses. I often used positive and negative space, with positive being the figure and negative being the other elements, to make the space look larger than it is. It creates that mystique similar to fairy tale drawings. It was important to not show all the features of the enemies to make them appear scarier and more magical. The glowing enemies, white on black background, are far more mysterious and menacing due to more of their bodies being obscured. Imagination brings these drawings to life to fill in all the gaps. The original rulebook, Cairn, creates this atmosphere through its 1d20 system and no player level system. The 1d20 system means that failure is more often to happen than success. This system, however, rewards risk by providing critical hits, which deal additional damage compared to a regular hit. Characters who lose all their health represents their ability to take hits before it becomes a serious wound, gain scars. Scars permanently change a character's gameplay, and often hinder the character in some way. The more scars a character gains, the higher their chances of dying. If a character dies in this way, then the player can quickly create or use a template character to continue the adventure. Cairn also has 3 stats to determine a character's defense against enemies. These stats are Will, represents wisdom and intelligence; Physical, represents strength and resilience to damage; and Dexterity, represents speed and reaction time. These 3 stats are used for most conflicts against creatures or challenging obstacles like a trap. These stats are often lower, so the chance of getting hit by an enemy attack is high, and this is further enforced by the no level up system. However, the same goes for the enemies. This system may be brutal, but the enemies will also be playing by the same rules. Most enemies are defeated quickly within 1 or 2 hits. Since Cairn is more challenging by design, the creatures often don't drop any rewards after battle according to the original rulebook. For the Night of the Maddening Star, I added rewards for defeating enemies to reward the player for overcoming a challenging obstacle. The players may have to retry a battle, and it would encourage the players to continue playing if there was a reward for the struggle. There are no non-player characters that can help the player on their adventure beyond the introduction non-player characters, also known as NPCs. The introduction NPC for this adventure is the Mole, Garrett Lance. He is a retired druid who created the charms that allowed the player characters to retain their sanity from the transformation. He was willing to help the player characters on their journey to defeat Xanthepi and save the town. He is a wise and somewhat proper old man who was turned into a mole. His purpose is to ease the player characters into the world and motivate them to save the town, since all the other townsfolk are not around for reasons explained in the module. He also is a natural way to tell the players what is going on, for the ones who are curious about that. but he can be skipped if the players have already done this module before, or just want to get to the action. There are other narratives given in the environmental world building, so the players who skip them will not be confused. The Scarecrow is another part of the world building that tells some of this story. The riddle, "Crows, creatures of the night, come to me. Leave thy gift of dangerous burden at my roots, to lift the curse of the beast who with deceit plunged this world into the darkness eternal. Turn and face away all fears, then turn back to confront me, for the new reward that is bestowed for bravery." Describes the origin of the curse and references the characters who were turned into animals. All the player characters into animals with the curse, lives of the heroes in classic fairy tales. Xantheppe is a fairy deity of the hunt. When it gained the power to expand its domain into the character's world, the Fae turned all the NPCs who were not wearing the charms that rejected its influence into monsters, so it could hunt more challenging prey. These monsters are extremely hostile and will attack any creature nearby. The player characters resisted this change by wearing charms, and were turned into animals but kept their human intelligence. The player characters now have an incentive to destroy Xantheppe in order to undo the curse. The curse provides problems for the characters as doors and other everyday devices are nearly impossible to easily access due to their small size. This makes navigating combat encounters more challenging. Xantheppe and other powerful monsters will be stalking the players throughout the module, and turning the characters into the prey animals would add to that tension. In addition to the dangerous gift the players received at the beginning of the module, players also receive more information about the world and its inhabitants through investigating the areas of the town and the forest. There are maps in these areas that can help with avoiding the Lost in the Forest events. The Lost in the Forest events are deadly because Xantheppe or other powerful creatures may appear to attack the players. Finding ways to survive these events or avoid them altogether are crucial. Choosing to explore the study will help if the players are stuck, as hinted by the mole guy in the beginning of the module. This rewards exploration after failure. The art direction, game design, theme, NPCs, and environmental storytelling all work together to create the grim fairy tale experience of the Night of the Maddening Star, fit the theme of the game jam, a forest, a town, and a dungeon it was submitted in. It fits the original atmosphere of the Cairn rule set by being a challenging but rewarding experience. Please see the description below to check out the game for yourself. Dare to brave the dark.